Hi everyone, this is Golden Promise. Today, our topic is how to teach your kids to be bilingual. Totally four popular methods. The first one called One Person One Language. It means in the family, one person stick to one language and the other person stick to another language. Second method is called minority language at home. Basically, it means at home you speak that minority language. If your minority language is Chinese, so at home you only speak Chinese. Number three, called time and place. So which means the language switch when time and place change. For instance, you set up a plan like we only speak Chinese language at dinner times at home. So then, at home, dinner time, you always speak Chinese. Another called mixed language policy. Mixed language policy can be you're going to decide which content you're going to use which language. For instance, if you're going to only use English for school-related subject, you're going to speak English. If you're going to use Chinese for personal related topic, you only use Chinese. So there are four different methods for you to choose. Personally, I prefer the first one and the second one because for me, it works well with one person, one language. My husband is American. I'm a Chinese, so I talk to my Chinese only in Chinese, and my husband only speak English to them. And some family can also use minority language at home. If you speak Spanish or French, you can tell your kids, I use Spanish or Chinese at home only. So in that case, the kids got most language from you at home. But it can depend on your personal situation. You can choose which one you like, or you can mix. It's all up to you. So next, I'm going to talk about each different methods and how my personal experience related to that methods. So the first method is one person, one language approach. This is what I used in my family. This is my son, and in my family, I stick with my son in Mandarin, and my husband stick with my son in English. My husband is American, so he understand a little bit Chinese, but he speak English very well. So I let him stay in English with my son. And next, I'm going to show you some link about how my son speak both language. So this is my channel, and if you like, you can go to Free Play Family Time to find out some video, see how we speak language to our kids. One person, one language works very well in my family, and I see the big difference when we first started, like when my kids were a baby, and we stay with that rule, one person, one language. And it's very important you be clear with your children. You only speak one particular language and your spouse speak another particular language, so you don't confuse your son or daughter. So they know, oh, I always say Mandarin to my mom and I always say English to my dad. So that's the first approach. Second approach they call minority language at home approach. So this approach basically means if you speak a minority language like Mandarin, Spanish, French, you will speak that language with your kids at home. So in American, we know they speak English at school, but you're going to tell your kids when we're at home, we only speak our minority language, whatever it is. This is a very good example I want to share with you from my friends. My friends, she only speak Mandarin to her son, and her husband also speak Mandarin to her son. And the reason she told me is she noticed a lot of immigrant family, they speak English with their children because they want to learn English from their children. And then it turned out their kids teach their parents English while they lost their own heritage language. So it's not very good for your kids because you gain your English ability if you are immigrant family, but as a sacrifice, your kids lose the ability to learn your heritage language with you. So this is why my friends, she's very smart. She told me, she said, I'm not going to speak English with my son. I'm not going to learn English with my son. I'm going to stay my Mandarin with my son so he can speak Mandarin fluently and can benefit his future career. Right now, son is a lawyer, and now and the son practice law in different language and can help more people in different language. So that's the story with minority language at home. So if you speak another language, stay with your home language, and that's very important. Next, call time and place methods. Time and place methods used a lot at immersion school. As I mentioned before, I worked in immersion school setting for 6 years in New York City, both private and public school. So this is how that worked at school setting. At that time, I was a Chinese teacher and I have a partner who teach kids English. So at that time, I worked in a school. They have an immersion program. So basically, there is two classes. On Monday, I have class A who stay with me with whole day, while my partner have class B stay with her for whole day. So on Tuesday, we switch. I have class B in my class. I teach Chinese to them, and my class A will switch to my partner to learn English. So we rotate. So which means in a week I only see my class A 2 or 3 times. I don't see them every day. And that method is very good for kids who want to learn bilingual because I and my partner work very closely, teach the same content. So for example, we teach science like plants. I teach them plants in Chinese. Some kids who are speaking English at home, they may not get it, but then when they switch to the English classroom, my partner teach the same thing, plants, and since English is their first language, they get it. On the opposite way, I have some kids who speak Chinese at home, so in my classroom, they get plant science and concepts very quickly because they family speak Mandarin at home, but when go to English class, they may not understand 100%. But since they learn some concept in Chinese classroom, they can quickly apply that concept in English, so which help them to learn English. So this bilingual program is very good for young children, and this is why you also find out in a lot of prestigious private school they have that bilingual program. I also work in some prestigious private school. They have Chinese immersion, Spanish immersion. They charge very expensive tuition. So they charge, like some school, they charge 40K per year, 50K per year, 60K per year, depends on different school. But if you speak another language at home, you need to stay that language with your kids, and you save so much money just by sending them to some immersion program. This is what I did. I know how expensive to enroll kids to that immersion program in New York City private school, but I already teach Mandarin, and I'm going to just teach my kids Mandarin all the time, and also I teach them through content. So if you are interested in some bilingual material, I have some alphabetic story A to Z in both Chinese and English. I will put the link below, so in case you want to dig deep for resource. Next, yes, next method I'm going to talk about, yes, mixed language policy. So this is another approach I work for some family. So basically, mixed language policy is about you speak one language majority for some topic like school related topic, and then you speak another language to your kids for personal related topic. Like right now, my son is very good at both Mandarin and English, and I try to speak Shanghai dialect to him because I originally came from Shanghai. So when I teach my kids school content, school related subject, I will stay with Mandarin, but for some personal related things, I will start use some Shanghai dialect, like when do you like go to, you know, bed, or what time did you go to school, or do you like chocolate chips, something like more personal daily conversation. I will use Shanghai dialect more. So then this mixed language policy can help my kids to know, oh, if it's school related, my mom will tell me Mandarin, but if it's more personal, my like or dislike, my mom will speak to me Shanghai dialect. And this is how I learned Mandarin and Shanghai dialect. When I was young, my parents used these methods to teach me Mandarin and Shanghai dialect. The last important thing is be consistent. That's the key. And if you think one approach work with you, you just stay with that approach and be consistent. Of course, you can try out different approach, or some people can mix it all up to your situation. But the most important things I want to share with you is be consistent. Like I always stay Mandarin with my kids. I never switch like to English and Mandarin English. Sometimes I may talk to my husband in English and my kids would around. He may hear me speak English, and that's the only time I will speak when my husband around. So I will speak English, so my kids know I speak both. But when I be with him alone, I always stay in Mandarin. And I want to tell you, it's getting hard, especially when your kids go to school. When they are young, try to speak your heritage language as much as they can, because once they go back to school, it's all English. From my personal experience, I already noticed my boy speak more English at home since I sent him to daycare when he was 2 years old. So I noticed the difference. When he come back, he will say something to me in English. I was encouraging him, say, could you please speak with me in Mandarin? Mama like hear Mandarin. Mama was grew up speaking that language. I feel very proud, and I want you to say that. And also another things I noticed from the feedback from my students' parents, they telling me when I tell them in Chinese, they always respond to me in English. Yes, they respond to you in English, but you can always tell them and request them to speak back to you to Mandarin, because you are the boss and you are the parents. you're going to make a decision which language you want your kids to learn. If you are very passionate, very strong about teaching your kids bilingual, you should show your passion and show your expectation for them. So I don't want to hear parents complain, say, oh, I speak them to Mandarin and then they always speak them back, because you don't require them to speak the Mandarin. If you don't require them, of course they pick up what language is easy for them. So that's the another important advice I want to give to some Chinese parents. Once they go to school, you need to put a lot of effort to reinforce them to speak Mandarin back to you at home. Otherwise, you probably will end up speak to them English gradually, because it's a battle. Either you win or they win. If you cannot be strong about your expectation, you will end up lose that battle. And so that's my today's topic. And if you are interested in see how I teach my kids to be bilingual, I will put some resource and link below, and I hope that will be helpful for parents. Thank you for subscribe my channel if you like my stress-free and bilingual education. Have a good day.